The great space station hung like a silent guardian above Earth's blue sky, its many lights twinkling against the darkness of space. Inside the station's grand hall, representatives from many worlds gathered, their faces a mixture of fear and hope. The alien empire, a force feared across the stars, had sent a chilling message. They demanded Earth's surrender, threatening to destroy everything if humans did not obey. Commander Elena stood near the window, watching the distant stars. She felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. The alien princess, a figure both respected and feared, would soon speak. Elena's heart beat fast. This was no ordinary negotiation. It was a test of humanity's will. The crowd fell silent as the alien princess stepped forward. Her skin glowed faintly under the soft lights, her silver eyes locked on the assembly. Then she made a startling announcement. She was carrying a child, half human, half alien. The room buzzed with whispers. Such a union was unheard of between their species. What did it mean for the war? Despite the shock, Earth's leaders remained firm. They would not surrender. They knew that giving in meant losing everything: freedom, homes, and hopes for the future. The people of Earth had always fought hard to survive. Now, they would stand together against the Empire's might. Far below in the cities, news of the ultimatum spread like wildfire. Streets filled with crowds watching screens, their faces tense but determined. Children clutched their parents' hands tightly. Soldiers prepared for battle. Scientists worked late into the night, searching for new ways to defend their world. The human spirit stirred with a fiery resolve. In the shadows of the alien palace, whispers of doubt grew among the Empire's leaders. They had expected Earth to bow quickly, but humans showed unexpected courage. This resistance unsettled many. Some wondered if the alien princess's child would bring peace or further conflict. Meanwhile, Elena and her team met in a quiet room, filled with holographic maps and blinking lights. They studied the enemy's fleet, planning their defense. Every detail mattered. They knew the aliens possessed superior technology, but humans had something the Empire lacked: unpredictable creativity. Scientists presented new ideas. One proposed modifying old satellites to become weapon platforms. Another suggested hacking alien communications to confuse their attacks. Elena listened closely. Every idea was a spark of hope. Outside, a young boy named Leo watched the news with wide eyes. He dreamed of flying among the stars one day. Now, he understood that the fight for Earth was real. It was no longer a story or a game. It was the future he would inherit. He vowed silently to do whatever it took to protect his home. At night, the sky over Earth seemed darker, filled with tension, but stars still shone bright. They reminded people that even in the darkest times, light could survive. Across the world, families gathered, sharing stories of past struggles and victories. They drew strength from history and from each other. Back, on the space station, the alien princess faced her own struggles. She cared deeply for her unborn child, and for the humans she was meant to fight against. Inside, she felt torn between two worlds. Her heart was a battlefield just as much as the stars beyond. Some alien commanders whispered about the princess's strange feelings. They feared her loyalty might weaken. Orders came to tighten control and watch her closely. But the princess kept her secret. She knew that what she carried could change everything. Suddenly, alarms blared across the station. Sensors detected an unknown ship approaching rapidly. Elena's team rushed to the control room. The tension broke for a moment, replaced by sharp focus. Could this be a new threat, or a chance for allies? The ship's design was unfamiliar. It bore no known insignia. A message crackled through. The voice was human but calm and confident. They came with a warning. The war was not just about Earth anymore. Other species were watching, waiting to see if humans would fall or rise. The hall filled with murmurs. Allies or enemies? No one knew. But one thing was clear. The fight had only just begun. The story of humanity's unbreakable will was about to unfold in ways no one expected. Elena took a deep breath. The coming days would test everything: courage, wisdom, and hope. But she believed in her people. Humans had faced impossible odds before and survived. This time would be no different. As the sun rose over Earth, its light touched every corner of the planet. People looked up, feeling a quiet strength in the warmth. The alien princess's announcement had shocked them, but it had also reminded them of what made humans special: a heart that never gave up. Far from Earth, the alien empire prepared its fleets. Yet, doubt lingered like a shadow. Could this strange, human spirit be the empire's downfall? Or was it the start of a new, uncertain future? One thing was certain: humans refused to surrender, and the galaxy was watching. After the alien ultimatum, Earth did not fall into despair. Instead, a wave of determination spread through every city and village. Governments quickly called for calm and action. Leaders spoke on screens, their voices steady, promising protection and strength. The people listened. Fear was present, but hope burned brighter. Commander Elena traveled to one of Earth's largest military bases. The vast complex buzzed with activity. Engineers worked on machines that looked like nothing from the past wars. New weapons were being designed, tested, and built. Soldiers trained harder than ever before, learning tactics not just from Earth's history but from intelligence gathered on the aliens. Among the scientists was Dr. Malik, a man with sharp eyes and a calm voice. He led a team studying alien technology that had fallen into human hands during earlier skirmishes. The machines were strange, yet fascinating. Using their own creativity, humans started to understand and adapt these devices. What the Empire had thought impossible was now being turned against them. In a dimly lit room, a group of hackers worked silently. They tapped on keyboards with purpose, breaking into alien communication networks. Their goal was clear: disrupt the enemy's plans, confuse their fleet, and give Earth's defenders an edge. The work was slow and difficult, but every small success brought cheers and renewed energy. In the streets of New York, a young woman named Lila volunteered at a local center. She was not a soldier or scientist, but a nurse who cared deeply for those affected by the growing conflict. Her days were filled with tending to injuries and comforting frightened families. Even in the smallest acts, she found strength to keep going. The human spirit was alive in every corner. Meanwhile, the alien commanders watched these developments with surprise and concern. The Empire had always seen humans as weak and simple. Now, that view was challenged. The resistance grew smarter and faster than expected. Some aliens began to doubt the war's outcome. The alien princess, caught between two worlds, kept close contact with human leaders through secret channels. Her influence was subtle but powerful. She shared critical information that helped Earth's forces avoid traps and prepare for attacks. Her hope for peace made her a target among her own people, but she was willing to risk everything. One morning, Elena stood on the deck of a warship orbiting Earth. The ship was sleek and powerful, equipped with both human and alien technology. Below, the planet looked peaceful, but everyone knew that calm would not last. Elena looked out at the stars, thinking about the challenges ahead. The war was not just about weapons, but about willpower and unity. The human fleet moved with precision. Small groups of ships launched daring raids on alien supply lines far from Earth. These missions were dangerous, often against overwhelming odds. Yet, the crews returned with news of success, proving that humans could fight anywhere, not just on their homeworld. In the city of Tokyo, a group of teenagers gathered in a park, their faces glowing from the light of a holographic news broadcast. They were students, artists, dreamers, but now they followed the war closely. One boy, Kenji, admired the bravery of the pilots. He imagined himself among them one day, flying into the unknown to protect those he loved. Across the Atlantic, in London, old veterans shared stories with young soldiers. Tales of past wars, of courage and sacrifice, passed down like treasures. These stories reminded everyone that humanity had faced darkness before and emerged stronger. The lessons of history gave new fighters hope and confidence. Back at the space station, the alien princess struggled with her choices. She watched her empire's plans unfold and knew they would bring destruction if unchecked. She also felt a growing connection to the humans, especially Elena and her team. Her child was a symbol of something new. Hope beyond war. Alien spies reported that humans were adapting quickly, developing new tactics no one predicted. Some commanders called for harsher measures, but others whispered about peace and negotiation. The Empire was not united, and cracks showed in its armor. In the laboratories beneath Earth's surface, scientists like Dr. Malik worked late nights. They experimented with energy shields, faster engines, and new weapons that blended alien tech with human innovation. Each breakthrough was a step closer to turning the tide. One such breakthrough came when engineers modified old satellites, turning them into weapon platforms. These satellites could strike deep into space, surprising enemy fleets far from Earth. The move was risky, but showed how humans could use anything to their advantage. At the same time, Earth's intelligence services intercepted alien messages, revealing plans to launch a massive attack soon. The urgency grew. Elena and her commanders planned counterattacks, using every tool at their disposal. In the quiet, moments before battle, Elena met with her team. She spoke of courage and trust, reminding them that humanity's strength was more than machines. It was their creativity, their will to survive, and their unwillingness to give up. Outside the war rooms and battle plans, everyday people lived with the shadow of war. Markets remained open, schools continued, and music still played in cafes. Life went on, powered by hope and the belief that Earth's future was worth fighting for. One evening, Leo, the boy from earlier, stood on his rooftop watching the stars. He thought of the alien princess and her child. To him, that child represented a bridge between worlds. A chance for peace, if only both sides could find it. Meanwhile, the alien commanders prepared their ships, their faces stern. They underestimated humans before. Now, they knew the battle would be longer and harder than they thought. The war was no longer just a fight for power. It was a test of humanity's spirit, their ability to rise in the face of fear. Every person, from the scientists to the soldiers, from the leaders to the children, played a part in this great struggle. As the stars shone overhead, Earth stood ready. The human race refused to bow or break. The resistance was alive, growing stronger with each passing day. The fight for survival had only just begun. Inside the vast halls of the alien empire's palace, the princess moved quietly through shadowed corridors. The glittering walls reflected soft light, but her mind was filled with stormy thoughts. She was caught between two worlds, one of her birth and loyalty, and another of newfound hope and love. This inner battle was as fierce as any war raging outside. The child she carried was more than just a life growing inside her. It was a symbol of change, a bridge between two races. She often touched her belly, imagining the future her baby might face, a future of peace or endless conflict. The weight of her secret pressed on her daily, yet she dared not speak it aloud. Her closest advisors remained unaware of her true feelings. To them she was the perfect image of alien strength and resolve. But beneath the surface she nurtured a hope that one day, humans and aliens might find common ground. It was a dangerous hope, one that could be seen as betrayal. At night, the princess gazed out of the palace windows toward Earth, a blue and green jewel shining in the darkness. Memories of her encounters with humans filled her mind. She thought of Elena, the human commander whose courage had earned her respect. The princess remembered their conversations, careful, full of meaning, and the way Elena never faltered in the face of danger. Though their worlds were enemies, a strange connection had formed. The princess wondered if this bond could withstand the fires of war. Her heart ached with the knowledge that choosing a side might cost her everything: family, honor, and even her own life. Meanwhile, on Earth, Elena and her team worked tirelessly. They had received word that the princess might be more than just an enemy, possibly an ally in disguise. Trust was difficult to build between former foes, but they understood the importance of hope in such dark times. Elena prepared a message for the princess, one filled with cautious optimism. She believed that even a small chance for peace was worth fighting for. The message spoke of understanding and a desire to protect not just Earth, but all life caught in the war's path. Back in the palace, the princess kept her secret communications hidden from imperial eyes. Each letter she read from Elena was a flicker of light in her uncertain world. She risked everything to reply, sharing knowledge that could save human lives. Yet, every secret act deepened her fear of discovery. Alien commanders grew suspicious of their princess's actions. Rumors spread about her wavering loyalty and strange attachments to humans. Some sought to remove her from power, believing her compassion was a dangerous weakness. Others whispered of the child she carried, wondering if it would be a weapon or a threat. The princess felt the walls closing in. She knew her time to choose was coming. Would she side with the empire that demanded war, or stand with the humans who showed unexpected kindness? Her decision would change the fate of many. Far from these high-stakes struggles, on a remote research station, scientists watched the unfolding war with keen interest. Dr. Malik had received new data from the princess's secret messages. The information revealed flaws in alien technology and strategies previously thought invincible. It was a breakthrough. The scientists worked day and night, adjusting their plans to exploit these weaknesses. Every discovery fueled their hope and determination. The war might be long, but with such knowledge, humans could fight smarter, not just harder. Back on Earth, everyday life continued despite the looming conflict. Children learned about the war in schools, not just as history, but as their reality. Stories of bravery and sacrifice filled classrooms, inspiring young hearts. People planted gardens, built shelters, and prepared for whatever might come. In the midst of this, Leo watched the news with growing admiration for the princess's courage. To him, she was proof that even enemies could change, that compassion could survive hate. He dreamed of a galaxy where all children, alien or human, could live without fear. Meanwhile, alien forces launched a new wave of attacks on human outposts. The battles were fierce and costly, yet the human defenses were stronger and more coordinated than ever. Using the princess's intelligence and their own innovations, they turned the tide in several key fights. Elena led one such mission. Her squadron moved swiftly, outmaneuvering alien fleets with unexpected tactics. Their success sent a message across the stars. Humans were not just survivors. They were warriors of great skill and heart. Back in the palace, the princess faced a private council. Her enemies pressed her to choose loyalty or exile. She stood firm, her resolve shining through doubt. She spoke of peace, of a future where two races could live together. Some called her naive. Others saw a leader born. Her voice carried the power of change. Though danger lurked, the princess knew that her child's birth could mark a new beginning. She believed that even in a universe torn by war, hope was a force no empire could crush. At the edge of space, a small alien ship approached Earth. Its pilot was neither friend nor foe, but a messenger. He carried a warning from distant systems. The galaxy watched humans closely, impressed by their courage but wary of what might come next. His message was clear. Humans had become a force that no one could ignore. Elena received the message with a mixture of pride and caution. The war was bigger than Earth alone now. Alliances might form, and enemies might change. The path ahead was uncertain, but humanity's spirit remained unbroken. As days passed, the princess's secret alliance with Earth deepened. She shared insights about alien tactics and weaknesses, helping human forces prepare. Every piece of information saved lives and brightened hopes for peace. Still, the Empire's wrath was fierce. Loyalists hunted for signs of betrayal, and battles raged both in space and within political halls. The princess's strength was tested as never before. One night, she stood alone on the palace balcony, looking at the stars. She whispered promises to her unborn child, vows of peace and courage. The future was unclear, but her heart was certain. On Earth, Elena planned the next phase of the resistance. With the princess's help, they had gained an advantage. But the war was far from over. Every victory was hard won, every step forward shadowed by loss. Yet, in the midst of chaos, humanity shone brightly. From scientists to soldiers, from leaders to children, every person played a part in this great struggle. Their creativity, determination, and hope made them formidable. The princess's story was no longer just about her own fate. It was about a future where two species might find peace. It was about the unbreakable spirit of humanity and the power of change. And as the stars watched silently, the galaxy waited to see what would come next. Earth's skies were alive with movement. Ships of various shapes and sizes cut through the darkness of space, their engines glowing softly against the stars. Humans no longer relied on old weapons alone. They had blended alien technology with their own ideas, creating machines both strange and powerful. This new force was a sign of human creativity, a trait no enemy could predict. Commander Elena stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, her eyes fixed on the holographic map floating before her. The map pulsed with red and blue lights. Red for alien fleets, blue for human forces. The balance was shifting. Humans had started to strike back hard, using intelligence shared secretly by the alien princess. Dr. Malik, the scientist, watched the battle progress from his laboratory below decks. His team had modified the old satellites, turning them into mobile weapon platforms. These satellites could launch surprise attacks on enemy supply lines far from Earth. It was a bold move, and it worked better than anyone expected. As the satellites fired precise beams of energy, alien ships began to fall. Confusion rippled through the enemy ranks. They had never seen humans use their own technology against them so cleverly. This forced the Empire to rethink their strategies quickly. On the planet below, civilians watched the battle unfold through news feeds. People gathered in public squares, their faces filled with awe and hope. Soldiers who once felt powerless now smiled, knowing their hard work was paying off. Even children whispered stories about the satellites, calling them the stars that fight for us. Alina convened a meeting with her top commanders. The plan was clear: a daring mission deep into enemy space to hit a key command center. The mission would be dangerous, with little room for error. But success could cripple the alien empire's control and give humans a chance to end the war sooner. Among the chosen was Captain Rena, a pilot known for her fearless spirit and quick thinking. Her squadron trained relentlessly, perfecting maneuvers and strategies that blended speed with stealth. Each member understood the stakes. Failure was not an option. Meanwhile, the alien princess watched these developments with growing concern. The human attacks had become smarter and more coordinated than ever. She feared for the safety of her people, but also for the fragile hope growing between her and the humans. Inside the Empire's War Council, arguments raged. Some leaders demanded total war, hoping to crush human resistance through sheer power. Others argued for caution, fearing that overreaction might unite the humans even more. The Empire's unity was weakening. Secretly, the princess continued to aid Earth's forces. She sent valuable information about enemy movements and weak points. These messages were small but vital. Each one saved lives and pushed the war toward a new phase. On the human fleet, Captain Rena's squadron prepared for their mission. The ship's engines hummed quietly as they approached the target. Tension filled the air, but so did determination. Every pilot knew their skill would be tested, like never before. The mission began with silence. The squadron slipped through space, avoiding enemy patrols using stealth technology. The darkness of the void became their ally. They reached the outskirts of the alien command center without detection. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the enemy base. The humans had been spotted. What followed was a fierce battle of speed and strategy. Rena's pilots moved with precision, dodging laser fire and disabling enemy defenses. Their training and courage shone brightly. Inside the command center, human operatives worked to plant explosives and hack security systems. The tension was thick. Time was running out. The operatives relied on their teamwork and calm nerves to succeed. Back on Earth, Elena watched the mission's progress with a mix of hope and fear. Every second counted. She knew that this strike could change the course of the war, but also that many lives were at risk. As the countdown reached 0, the explosives detonated. The command center shook violently. Communications among alien fleets faltered. Confusion spread quickly. The humans had struck a powerful blow. Retreat was swift but cautious. Captain Rena led her squadron through a gauntlet of enemy fighters, their skill tested to the limit. Against all odds, they returned to Earth's fleet, greeted by cheers and relief. The victory was more than just a military success. It was a message to the galaxy. Humans would not be easily defeated. Their creativity, bravery, and determination made them a force to be reckoned with. On the alien homeworld, the Empire's leaders reeled from the attack. The command center's destruction weakened their control and sparked unrest among their forces. Some began to question the wisdom of continuing the war. The princess saw these changes with cautious hope. She knew the battle was far from over, but every small victory brought peace closer. Her bond with Earth grew stronger, fueled by the sacrifices and courage she witnessed. In the weeks that followed, human forces pushed forward. New weapons were tested and tactics refined. Each victory inspired the next. Resistance cells on other planets rose up, inspired by Earth's defiance. At a human base on Mars, engineers celebrated the arrival of a new ship. Its design was unlike any before, a blend of human innovation and alien technology, symbolizing the unity that might save the future. The crew prepared for their first mission, knowing they carried the hopes of many. Back on Earth, ordinary people played their part. Farmers worked harder to feed growing populations. Teachers prepared young minds for a new world. Artists painted scenes of courage and hope, reminding all of the strength within. Elena, in her quiet moments, thought about the journey so far. The road had been long and dangerous, but humanity's spirit had never faltered. They had turned fear into action and weakness into strength. The princess, far away, looked to the stars with a mother's hope. She dreamed of a time when her child would grow up in a galaxy without war. A time when humans and aliens could share stories instead of battle plans. As the war continued, both sides learned that the fight was not just about weapons or territory. It was about trust, hope, and the will to survive together. And in the darkness of space, a new light burned, a light born from courage, creativity, and an unbreakable human spirit. The silence in the dark space around the alien command center was thick with tension. Inside a small human ship, Captain Rena and her team prepared for the most dangerous mission of their lives. Their goal was to infiltrate the heart of the enemy's power, a place no human had dared enter before. The stakes were high, but so was their determination. The crew checked their equipment carefully. Every tool, weapon, and device was crucial. They would face the Empire's best guards, traps, and surprises. Failure meant more than defeat. It could end the chance for peace the alien princess secretly hoped for. As the ship approached the planet, Rena glanced at her squadron. They shared nods, understanding the mission's weight. Their training had prepared them, but nothing compared to the reality waiting ahead. They landed in a hidden zone near the command center's base. The air was heavy with the hum of alien machines. The team moved swiftly and silently, blending shadows with their dark suits. Each step brought them closer to their goal, but danger lurked in every corner. Inside the command center, alien officers discussed strategies and plans, unaware of the approaching threat. The humans watched from the shadows, studying security patterns. Time was against them. The longer they stayed, the greater the risk. Suddenly, alarms blared through the base. The humans had been detected. Chaos erupted as soldiers rushed to defend their stronghold. Captain Rena's team sprang into action, using every skill to outsmart and overpower their enemies. The battle was fierce. Laser blasts echoed through halls. Footsteps pounded on metal floors. Each member of the squad fought with courage and precision. They worked together like a single mind, protecting one another and pushing forward. In the control room, one operative hacked security systems. Fingers danced over the console, bypassing firewalls and unlocking doors. Sweat dripped down his brow, but he did not falter. Their mission depended on his success. Outside, the fight raged on. A young soldier named Tara moved swiftly, disarming traps and rescuing wounded teammates. Her calm under pressure inspired others. She was the heart of the team, steady and strong. Meanwhile, Captain Rena reached the center's core, a massive chamber filled with glowing machines and holographic displays. Here, the Empire's secrets lay hidden, plans, codes, and data that could turn the tide of war. She placed a small device on a console, setting explosives to destroy key systems. Time was short. As she worked, the alien princess appeared on a hidden screen, a calm voice guiding her through the complex. The princess's help was crucial. She provided codes and warnings about patrols. Her trust in the humans was a dangerous risk, but one she was willing to take for a better future. Suddenly, enemy reinforcements stormed the chamber. Rena's team fought fiercely to protect the operative finishing the hack. Every second counted. The pressure was immense, but their resolve never wavered. With a final beep, the security system fell silent. Doors locked, communications jammed. The command center's defenses were crippled. Explosions rocked the base, signaling the start of its destruction. The squadron raced back through corridors, avoiding falling debris and enemy fire. Their exit was as perilous as their entry, but teamwork and determination saw them through. As they reached their ship, cheers erupted. The mission had succeeded against all odds. The destruction of the command center sent shockwaves through the alien forces. The Empire's control weakened, and hope for peace grew stronger. Back on Earth, news of the mission's success spread quickly. People celebrated in streets and homes. The victory was more than military. It was a symbol of human courage and unity. Elena received a message from the alien princess, praising the team's bravery and expressing hope for an end to the conflict. The princess's words brought relief and renewed determination. Meanwhile, the Empire struggled to recover. Divisions deepened among its leaders. Some called for harsher measures, others for negotiation. The princess's influence was clear. Change was coming. On Mars, engineers studied the data retrieved during the mission. They planned new technologies to strengthen human defenses and prepare for future challenges. Each invention was a testament to human creativity and will. Soldiers trained harder, inspired by the courage of Captain Rena and her team. The story of their mission became legend, teaching others that fear could be overcome by unity and strength. In small towns and big cities, people of all ages felt the impact. Children learned about the heroes who risked everything. Parents spoke of hope and resilience. Communities grew closer, knowing they were part of something greater. Leo, the young boy who once dreamed of the stars, watched the celebrations with pride. He believed in the future the princess had spoken of, a future where humans and aliens might live as friends. The alien princess herself prepared for the birth of her child, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. She dreamed of a galaxy where war was history and peace was the path forward. Despite the battles still to come, the mission marked a turning point. Humanity had shown it could fight not only with weapons, but with heart and mind. The unbreakable spirit that defined humans was clear for all to see. As the stars shone above, Earth stood united. The war was far from over, but the light of hope burned brighter than ever. The future was uncertain, but humans faced it with courage and determination. And in the silence of space, the galaxy waited to see what would come next. The Empire was unraveling. In the grand halls of the alien homeworld, whispers of doubt spread, like wildfire. Leaders who once stood united now argued fiercely, their voices sharp and bitter. The loss of the command center had shaken them deeply, and the damage ran far beyond the battlefields. Factions within the Empire questioned the wisdom of continuing the war. Some even suggested negotiations, a thought once considered unthinkable. Far from the political chaos, rebellions ignited in distant colonies. Alien soldiers tired of endless fighting began to question their orders. Secret meetings formed in shadows, where hope for peace blossomed quietly but surely. The princess's name was whispered with respect and awe, seen as a beacon for change. Her secret alliance with humans had inspired many, and her unborn child was a symbol of a new beginning. On Earth, the news of these divisions gave rise to cautious optimism. Commander Elena and her team monitored enemy communications closely, noting every sign of unrest. The cracks in the Empire's armor were growing wider, and humans prepared to press their advantage without becoming reckless. Patience, combined with courage, would be their greatest weapon. In the bustling cities of Earth, everyday life took on new meaning. People found strength in community and purpose in unity. Artists painted murals of hope and resilience. Teachers spoke of courage and kindness. Children dreamed not just of space but of a future where peace reigned. These small acts of life and love became the foundation for the larger fight. Meanwhile, the alien princess prepared for her child's birth. Surrounded by a few trusted allies, she found moments of quiet amid the storm. Her thoughts often wandered to the day her baby would meet the world, a child born of two very different species. She hoped that the child would carry the promise of peace forward, bridging divides that had long seemed unbridgeable. The princess's health was delicate, but her spirit remained strong. She knew that her choice had changed everything. Some within the Empire sought to silence her, fearing the future she represented. Yet, she stood firm, determined to protect both her child and the hope it symbolized. As the alien empire faltered, human forces advanced. Skirmishes erupted on multiple fronts, each victory small but significant. Using intelligence from the princess and their own innovations, humans disrupted enemy supply lines and communication networks. Their ability to adapt and unite surprised even their closest allies. At one forward base, a young soldier named Marco received word of the growing rebellions among alien troops. The news was a turning point, fueling his determination. He gathered his squad to prepare for a mission unlike any before, a chance to meet with defectors and build new alliances. Elena supported these efforts, knowing that the future depended not only on battle, but on trust. Her belief in humanity's potential for peace extended beyond Earth. She hoped to create a new galactic community, where old enemies might become partners. Back on the alien homeworld, tension reached a boiling point. The Empire's leadership fractured into factions, each pulling in different directions. Some sought to crush the rebellions with force, while others argued for peace talks. The struggle for power threatened to tear the Empire apart from within. Amid this turmoil, the princess became a symbol of unity. Her presence inspired hope and fear in equal measure. Allies gathered around her, while enemies plotted her downfall. She navigated these dangers with grace, her focus always on the future she dreamed of. In the midst of the war, Earth celebrated a momentous event, the birth of the princess's child. The news spread quickly, filling people with awe and hope. The child, a symbol of both worlds, represented a new path forward. For many, it was proof that even the deepest divides could be healed. The princess named her child Arian, meaning bridge. In the weeks that followed, stories of Arian's birth inspired songs, art, and renewed determination. People saw the child as a living promise, a reason to fight for peace rather than destruction. Elena visited the princess soon after the birth, their meeting filled with shared hope and quiet strength. Together, they spoke of the future and the challenges still ahead. Though the war was not over, the foundation for a new alliance was taking shape. The alien empire's collapse continued. Rebellion leaders reached out to human diplomats, seeking terms to end the fighting. These talks were delicate and slow, requiring patience and understanding. Yet, every small agreement was a victory for peace. At a human research station, scientists worked tirelessly to rebuild war-torn planets and restore life. Their efforts symbolized humanity's resilience and commitment to healing. Projects aimed at preserving cultures and fostering cooperation were underway, bridging the gap between species. Across Earth, communities honored those who had sacrificed everything. Memorials were built and stories told, ensuring that future generations would remember the cost of war and the value of peace. Meanwhile, Arian grew, watched over by both human and alien guardians. The child's unique heritage was a constant reminder that the galaxy was changing. People hoped that Arian's life would help build a world where peace was not just a dream, but a reality. Elena continued her leadership, guiding humanity through uncertain times. Her belief in strength through unity remained unshaken. The lessons learned from the war shaped new policies focused on cooperation, justice, and hope. In the quiet moments beneath the stars, the princess reflected on the journey. From a reluctant warrior to a mother and leader, she had faced challenges beyond imagining. Yet, she found strength in the belief that change was possible, even in the darkest times. The galaxy watched as the last battles faded. The war that had once seemed endless was ending. New alliances were forming. Old wounds began to heal. Humanity's unbreakable spirit had endured, shining as a beacon across the stars. And so, a new chapter began, one where hope and courage paved the way for a future shaped not by conflict, but by peace. The final chapter of the great struggle began not with a roar but with a quiet resolve. Across Earth and beyond, the people prepared for the last battle that would decide the fate of many worlds. Commander Elena stood tall on the bridge of the Resolute, gazing at the swirling stars outside. The weight of leadership rested heavy on her shoulders, yet her heart beat steady with hope. News from the outer colonies painted a picture of growing unity. Alien rebels joined forces with human fighters, creating an alliance born from shared dreams of peace. This coalition, though fragile, was stronger than anything the Empire had faced before. The birth of Aryan, the child of two species, had become a symbol of this new beginning. In a secret chamber, the alien princess watched her child play, a gentle smile softening her usually stern face. Aryan's laughter echoed through the halls, a sound foreign to the cold walls of war. The princess believed that this child represented the promise of a galaxy healed, a future where divisions could be overcome. Back on Earth, citizens of all ages found strength in this hope. Artists created murals celebrating unity. Teachers inspired students with stories of courage. Families gathered to support each other, ready for whatever the future might hold. The unbreakable human spirit shone brighter than ever. The final battle was not a clash of armies alone, but a test of hearts and minds. The coalition's forces gathered at the edge of the Empire's last stronghold, a massive fortress orbiting a distant planet. The enemy's defenses were formidable, yet the Alliance faced them with unwavering determination. Captain Rena led her squadron once more, her experience and courage a beacon for all. Pilots, soldiers, and operatives worked in perfect harmony. Their movements were precise, their will unshakable. Every member knew the stakes and the price of failure. The battle began with a sudden burst of light as fleets engaged in the vastness of space. Lasers streaked across the void, engines roared, and the silence of the stars was broken by the sounds of conflict. Yet amid the chaos, a new strategy emerged, one that combined human creativity with alien knowledge. Elena coordinated the attack from the flagship, sending messages that wove through the fleet like threads in a tapestry. The Alliance adapted quickly, using unexpected tactics to outsmart their foes. Surprise and unity became their greatest weapons. Inside the fortress, the alien leadership faced their own turmoil. The divisions among them had grown too deep to ignore. Some commanders fled, others surrendered, and a few clung desperately to fading power. The Empire's once mighty grip slipped away. The princess, standing among the rebels, witnessed this change. She felt pride and sorrow intertwined. The war that had cost so much was ending, but the journey toward true peace was just beginning. Holding Aryan close, she whispered promises of a better tomorrow. As the fortress fell, the coalition's forces cheered. Victory was theirs, not just because of weapons, but because of hope and trust. The galaxy had witnessed something remarkable: humanity's refusal to surrender, and the power of unity across worlds. In the days that followed, diplomats gathered to discuss a new future. Treaties were signed, and old enemies began to rebuild. Friendships. The scars of war remained, but they served as lessons, reminders of what had been overcome. Elena met often with the princess, their conversations filled with plans for cooperation and healing. Together, they envisioned a galaxy where differences were celebrated, and all beings could thrive. On Earth, celebrations lit up the night skies. People danced, sang, and embraced one another. Children played without fear, dreaming of adventures among the stars. The human spirit, tested by fire, had emerged stronger and more radiant than ever. Aryan grew surrounded by love from both her worlds. Her unique heritage was a symbol not of conflict, but of hope and new beginnings. As she took her first steps, the galaxy watched with anticipation, eager to see the future she would help shape. Elena reflected on the journey, the battles fought, the sacrifices made, and the friendships forged. Humanity had faced impossible odds and prevailed through courage, creativity, and unbreakable will. The stars above seemed brighter now, their light a promise of peace and endless possibilities. The war was over, but the story of humanity's strength and heart would echo forever. And so, beneath the endless sky, a new era dawned, one where unity and hope guided the way, and the unyielding spirit of humanity shone as a beacon for all.